Greetings, teacher. I am going to talk about teaching techniques to teach vowels, uh, consonants, intonation, and word stress. I'm going to start first with integrated integrated lesson, which is a type of lesson. Um, this type of lesson combines various language skills, listening, speaking, reading, and writing within a single lesson or series of lessons. Instead of just teaching these skills in an isolation, integrated lessons aim to show how they interrelate and support each other, providing a more holistic language learning experience. The main purpose of the integrated lessons is to mimic real life communications where multiple language skills are used simultaneously. Uh, Here we have activities for teaching pronunciation and integrated lessons. We have vowels, and the activity for this is the vowel sound echo. The procedure is I will say the word emphasizing a specific vowel sound, for example, cat, sit, or hot. The students will repeat the word in unison, mimic my pronunciation. Then I will say a new word with the same vowel sound and students echo it back. Uh, the next step will be to continue with a series of words for each vowel sound, encouraging students to focus on accurate pronunciation. And the next activity, the instructions will be to circle or underline the word in each group that is not pronounced with a sound. For example, pet, let, sit, and the other words, etc. For the next lesson type, we have practice lesson. It is this one is a excuse me. It is a type of pronunciation lesson specifically to create for practicing distinct individual sounds. The purpose of a practice lesson is to help students internalize correct pronunciation patterns and develop automaticity in their speech. Here to use that lesson type, we have consonants, and the activity is consonant sound mimic, and the procedure is I will pronounce a word focusing on a specific consonant sound, for example, ship. And the next step is that students will repeat the word, paying attention to the consonant sound. The next step is the teacher, of, obviously myself, then provides a list of words with the same consonant sound, and students will repeat each one. And then after practicing several words, students take turns saying words with the same consonant sounds, and the class repeats them. And for the next activity, we have a consonant exercise for the consonants B and B. The first step is a minimal parts practice. I will say I will say pairs like van and van, best and best. Students will repeat. And the next step is the listening. I will say the word, for example, boat and boat, and telling them the difference between these two consonants. And the first one, we use our lower lip with our upper teeth, both. And for both, we use both of our lips. And then we have the sentence practice, uh, which students will repeat sentence like, I have a blue van. And the fourth step is to make pair work. One student will say a word, for example, boys, and then the partner identifies if it's V or B. And lastly, we have to create sentences. Students will make sentences with B or B words and share with the class. Uh, for the next one, we have to intonation, we will use again practice lesson. The activity is intonation pattern practice. And the procedure, I will say a sentence with a specific intonation pattern. For example, rising intonation for question, are you coming? And students will repeat the sentence mimicking my intonation. I will change the sentence to use a different intonation pattern. For example, falling intonation for the statements, I am coming. And students will practice repeating sentences with varied intonations patterns. And for the next activity, intonation echoes will be the procedure. I will say a sentence with a exaggerated intonation. For example, "Wow, that's amazing." And students echo the sentence back with the same intonation. The next steps, I will provide a different sentence with a different emotional tone. For example, "Oh no, that's terrible." And for the last step will be that students echo this new sentence, practicing the change in intonation. And we have the last lesson type, which is remedial lesson. Remedial lesson is a type of lesson focused on addressing specific pronunciation errors and difficulties that students have previously demonstrated. It is tailored to target and correct particular areas of weakness, providing additional support and practice to help students overcome their challenges. And the purpose of a remedial lesson is to identify, rectify, and persistent pronunciation errors. And we have for the last activity, we have the word stress. And the stress, we will use the activity stress clap. The procedure, I will say a multiple syllable word clapping on the stress syllable. For example, apple, with a clap in up. Students will repeat the word and clap on the stress syllable. I will provide a list of words and students practice clapping and saying each word with the correct stress. Progress to have students volunteer words and the class clap stress the correctly syllable together. Next, for the next activity, we have word stress activity. The instructions will be to listen to words and circle or underline the ones with the stress on the second syllable. For example, around, husband, severe, summer, complete, himself, winter, advice, prefer, etc. And here's the bibliography where I took the information for this presentation. This is all, teacher. Thank you.